Hello everybody, my name is Joshua Winkins, and welcome back to episode number 2 of the Winkins Podcast, a podcast where I talk about minimalism, self-improvement, and how to live a simpler and healthier life. One of the biggest reasons I decided to make this podcast was it's basically going to go ahead and highlight like my 2 latest YouTube videos. I post new videos every Sunday and Wednesday about minimalism and self-improvement. So this podcast is just a way to kind of like give you an overview of the YouTube video, and I highly encourage you to go ahead and actually watch the video if you enjoy the podcast. Now in this podcast, I'm going to talk about minimalism since my latest video was titled How to Become a Minimalist, and I'm also going to go ahead and talk a little bit about digital minimalism, which is a video that's coming up this Sunday, so stay tuned for that. So in the video, I talked about 2 of the biggest myths of minimalism. I also talked about like the characteristics of what minimalism actually is. And then I went ahead and talked about some of my favorite creators on YouTube that make videos about minimalism and self-improvement. So I want to go ahead and start off with the 2 biggest myths of minimalism. The first myth is your walls, your apartment, your house, your furniture all needs to be like black, white, or gray. Now, if you see my room is all those very modern colors. So that's a myth that I think people think that if you have those colors, you are a minimalist. Now, I would consider myself a minimalist, but there are plenty of people that have modern color houses that still aren't a minimalist. The bottom line is you can still have your room or house or something painted like yellow or green, and you can still be considered a minimalist, even though I feel like in our society we tend to push modern colors as more of minimalistic, but that is not true. The second biggest myth of minimalism is you need to own less stuff. Minimalism is not about owning less stuff. That's not the goal of minimalism. Just getting rid of stuff is considered downsizing. That's not minimalism. Minimalism is only having stuff that adds value to your life. I'm going to go ahead and talk more about that as this podcast goes on. So the 2 biggest characteristics of minimalism is a way of living a more simple and organized life and only owning stuff that adds value to your life. Now, if you see any YouTube video that says like my minimalist apartment, my minimalist studio tour, you'll notice that their rooms are very organized, they're very simple. So is my room. My room is very organized. I know exactly where everything is, and that is the biggest characteristic of minimalism. If your house, it doesn't matter the color of your walls, it doesn't matter how much stuff you own, it matters how it's all organized and laid out. If you have like a whole stack of clothes and someone says, find me that white t-shirt, and you're like, I have no idea where it is, then you're not minimalistic because it's all disorganized. If you live a very organized and simplistic life, you would be considered a minimalist. Now, the idea that says that only own stuff that adds value to your life is the most important part of minimalism. Getting rid of stuff is considered downsizing. That's not minimalism. You can still own a lot of stuff and still be considered a minimalist, but you have to make sure that the stuff you own actually adds value to your life. So if you own 100 books or you own 600 pairs of shoes, you can still be considered a minimalist if all those shoes are actually adding value to your life and you actually wear all those pairs of shoes on a daily basis or a weekly basis or monthly basis, or you read the books on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. The fact of the matter is, if the stuff you own you're not actually using and it's not actually adding value to your life, go ahead and get rid of it. Don't just flat out get rid of stuff. That's considered downsizing. Only keep the stuff that actually adds value to your life and stuff that you actually use, and don't own 600 pairs of shirts and only wear 3 of them. Get rid of all the pairs of shirts but just keep the 3 that you actually wear. Now, when it comes to only keeping stuff that actually adds value to your life, I've broken it down into 5 different categories of, I think, of stuff that we as a society tend to collect and just kind of hoard this stuff. So I talked about in the video too, the 5 categories are books, toys, clothes, shoes, and technology. I think these are the 5 areas that we as a society tend to just build massive collections of. So I highly encourage you, go ahead and go through each one of these categories that I listed and go to these areas, your shoe collection, your collection of technology, your closet. Go through each one of your items and really think to yourself, Is this item actually going to add value to my life? Is it something that I use on a daily basis? If it's not adding value to your life and it's not something that you use on a daily basis, go ahead and just get rid of it. Now, when it comes to actually getting rid of your stuff, I think I've broken it into two different categories. Just giving it away or selling it online, a yard sale, Craigslist, eBay. But when it comes to giving it away to like Goodwill or the Salvation Army, which I'm actually going to go ahead and give a whole bunch of my clothes to Goodwill or Salvation Army, not sure which one yet. But the fact of the matter is, if a shirt is only going to cost it's only going to sell for $4, it's not really worth selling it. Go ahead and give that to somebody who can actually use that. So I highly encourage you, go through those 5 areas. Make sure in each of those areas there's stuff that you actually need. Get rid of stuff that's not actually adding value to your life, and stuff that you're not actually using. Either sell it or give it away. Now, I talked about in the video how we live in a fast-paced society where we have Amazon Prime, the malls, Black Friday, where it's drilled into our head to buy more and more and more, buy more stuff, buy more stuff, buy more stuff. And I think as a minimalist, you just want to do the opposite of that. Now, you can buy stuff if that's adding value to your life. If you find a sale of something that you actually need, yeah, buy it. But I think the problem is we overdo it and we buy a whole bunch of stuff that's on sale, thinking we saved money. We get back home to put that into our shoe collection. We realize 2 months later, we never even wore that shoe. So even though we saved $50, the shoe still costs $100. So we literally just flat out wasted $100 on a product that we're never going to use. So I talked about in that video how our society is so fast-paced, and the idea is buy more stuff, and we've basically been tricked in this idea of continuing the consumption and keep buying more and more stuff. Just take a step back and realize, do I actually need this? If you don't need this, then don't buy it. Take a step back and just say, no, I don't need that. That is the mindset of a minimalist. A minimalist won't just buy something because it's on sale. A minimalist will buy something that's on sale if they actually need it. Now, in my upcoming video this Sunday, I talk about digital minimalism. It's basically just means simplifying your digital life. Now, I went ahead and broke it down into 4 categories: your inbox, so your Gmail account, your digital calendar, like on your iPhone or a Samsung phone, and then your photos on your camera, your iPhone, videos that you don't actually need anymore. Go ahead and just get rid of them because it's just cluttering up your phone and your memory. And also your iMac, your laptop, your Windows laptop with your files, your hard drives, your SD cards. Go ahead and get rid of stuff that's not actually useful. So obviously keep the videos you're going to use for the actual YouTube videos, but if you have test videos or photos, thumbnails you're not actually going to use, just get rid of it, because then you'll find yourself scrolling through and you try to figure out where's the video that I actually want. So that's the whole point of digital minimalism: simplifying your inbox, your digital calendar, your photos, and your files in your hard drive or computer that contain your photos and your videos. And before I go ahead and finish off this podcast, I want to talk about 4 of my favorite YouTubers who do videos on minimalism and self-improvement, and I highly encourage you to go ahead and watch some of their videos. Now, the 4 people are Matt D'Avella, Sean Lee, The Minimalist, and Nathaniel Drew. I'll maybe have them in the description down below, the links to their channel, if you want to go ahead and check them out. And I also believe that I actually have all their channels on the featured section of my channel homepage when you go on the desktop version on my YouTube channel. But I highly encourage you to go ahead and watch all 4 of them, or at least one of them, because they're definitely going to help you get started into this culture of becoming more minimalistic. I'm trying to do my best, but they've also made a lot more videos than I have, and I'm just starting to get into this this wave of minimalism. As you can see before in my previous videos that I've done before becoming a minimalist, they weren't very minimalistic at all. So I'm also using their videos to try to become more minimalistic and share this journey with you. I highly encourage you to go ahead and join this journey with me. Before I go ahead and finish off this entire podcast, I want to give you some tips on how you can actually become a minimalist. My best advice would be, I talked about those five categories: books, toys, clothes, shoes, and tech. I encourage you to go to each one of those 5 areas, make a pile into 3 sections: stuff that you always use on a daily basis, stuff that you use every once in a while, and stuff that you never use. Take the pile of stuff you never use, get rid of it, sell it, give it away. Take the pile that you actually use on a daily basis, put that away. And then that pile that is in the middle, after a month or a couple weeks, ask yourself, did I actually wear that shirt? Did I actually use that shoe? Did I actually wear that shoe? Or did I actually use this like iPhone? Did I actually use my computer? If the bottom line is, go to the middle pile. After a couple weeks, if you're not actually using that item, actually put it into the item that just gets rid of it or sells it. Bottom line is, break your stuff down, really be hard on yourself. Say, do I actually use this? If you don't use it, then don't keep it. Bottom line of minimalism is to simplify your life, to live a more organized life, and to only own stuff that adds value to your life. If you can do those two things, you, my friend, are a minimalist. Before you go ahead and leave the podcast, make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's greatly appreciated. I upload new videos every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think of this podcast. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.